2, 3. That's okay. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Okay, Office Talk.
Office Talk.
We're back again. Peak Office Talk hour. This is going to be a bit of an interesting one. We actually have substantial proof of the new GoPro.
Yeah, I mean, it got announced.
It's got announced. It's real now. We can actually talk about it in concrete terms. Before we really get into it, I just want to go over a list of the things I was right about.
We made some claims.
There were many things. I said the new GoPro is going to have a 1-inch sensor.
Yep.
It did.
Nice.
There you go.
Point.
I said it's going to have interchangeable lenses. One of them does.
Yeah, because it is. I didn't even think about the fact that they would release 3 different models.
There are 3.
Which they have always done. It's always been white, silver, black, just in general.
Really?
Yeah. You would always have, or at least 2, because you would always have the GoPro 8 black, which was like the best one. It's like their version of Pro.
I didn't know that. Or I guess I did at some point. I just stopped caring about GoPro just like everybody else for the last 10 years. They released new wireless microphones.
Did they?
I was also right about that.
Okay.
So now they have lapel mics that are going to come with, or not come with the GoPro, but they're going to be like an ancillary thing you can buy.
Yep.
Ultra slow motion. I guessed 1,000 frames per second. It has 960. I'm going to count that as a win.
In what?
1080.
1080. Okay.
I guess 1080 at 1,000 frames. It's 1080 at 960. It's pretty close.
It's pretty close.
I'm pretty right about that. And this one I'm the most proud of. It has a new name that is not a number.
Yes.
It is the Mission 1.
Which
has a number.
But it's better.
But mission is a cool word.
Yeah, it is.
It's like space word.
Space. I still wish they went with like dragon.
Dragon. We were close. We missed dragon. There are some other things we missed. But let me give you a quick rundown of what ChatGPT says the new GoPro has. So there's 3 new GoPros. The Mission 1, the Mission Pro, and the Mission Pro ILS. ILS meaning interchangeable lens S.
I'm going to say that right now. I don't like this name filing for this generation because it's already confusing.
Okay.
Because out of the box right now, I'm like, which one is the Pro one?
The Pro. It says Pro.
Yeah, but like, which one? Like, because I feel like the ILS would be the better one.
Yeah.
Like, there's no clear hierarchy of. Like, I need to check I need to check actually like what they can do to understand which one I would have to go for instead of just like a clear.
Maybe I can help you out with that.
Yeah.
So the Mission 1 and the Mission 1 Pro both have a fixed 14mm ultra wide lens, not fisheye.
So that there's just classic.
Yeah.
Classic upgrade.
Super wide.
Yeah.
The Mission 1 Pro ILS has a micro four thirds interchangeable lens system. So 1-inch sensor with a micro four thirds lens system. The lens mount, I guess, is just that, really. MFT lenses. What is MFT? Do we know?
Micro four thirds.
For some reason, I thought that would be written in numbers. Like 4/3. All right. Well, anyway.
Acronyms, they're hard.
I'm a dumbass. 3 minutes into this, and I'm already untrustworthy. So photo resolution, the sensor is 50 megapixels across all of them.
50, yeah, okay.
That's pretty big.
Pretty big.
1-inch sensor, 50 megapixels. They put a lot of pixels into that thing.
Yeah.
Even though they still insist that the low light capability is like groundbreaking.
I gotta see it.
Yeah. From the photos that they've released so far, it looks kind of grainy in low light, but at the same time, it looks like part of the look.
Yeah.
Kind of cool. It's a lot better than what the low light used to be, which was just black and gone. Pretty much. With like some red grain in the bottom. New processor, they call it the GP3. Don't know what that means. Sounds cool. They're bragging points.
GP3 like GoPro 3.
Is it? Maybe.
I feel like that would be that.
Could be. Like it's the third sensor or third processor. They're saying what that does for the camera is it gives it better run times and thermal performance. So in high heat, it's going to be able to keep itself cooler.
Yeah.
Yeah. Never had a GoPro that works in any temperature. So if it works, that's cool. That's
Good.
just
It still does what it's supposed to do.
Yeah, exactly. The 1-inch sensor has up to 8K recording.
Yep.
I guess 10K. I was ambitious. My bad. 8K is pretty sick.
But is it 8K downsample from 10K?
No, it's 8K open gate.
Okay.
Yeah, which
We like open gate.
why can't other big brands figure that out if Sony
Hey,
can?
big brands,
Or
why can't you also get the open gate?
GoPro can do it. Why can't the other brands? That's at 60 frames per second on the Pro and 30 frames on the Mission 1 Not Pro.
Right.
They should call it Not Pro. One's Pro,
Not
one's
Pro.
Not Pro. Whoa. So there's only technically one way to go Pro here, right? You either go the Mission 1 Pro or you go Mission. All right. 4K, 240 frames per second.
Yeah.
It's a lot of frames per second for
It's a
4K.
lot of frames.
For 4K, that's pretty astounding.
Yeah.
Sick. And then 480 frames per second at 1080 with a 960 frame per second burst mode. So you can't just film at 960 frames per second. You have to pick a segment. Which-
Right.
Fair. That's an insane amount of storage. Speaking of storage, I don't know if they've talked about storage yet. I haven't seen anything. We were hoping there would be some sort of internal storage solution.
I mean, if it has 1,000 frame per second, it would need to have some kind of internal storage.
Yeah, you can't write on a memory card that fast.
Yeah.
So fingers crossed, because that's another thing we would be right about. That would be nice. Photo resolution, 50 megapixel RAW / JPEG. Don't know what GoPro RAW looks like. I've never edited GoPro RAW footage. Color profiles, 10-bit HDR GP log 2. I guess log 2 is subjective. You can't compare it to anything else.
Yeah. All cameras have their own log profiles.
I know GoPro can be pretty flat, which is kind of nice. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of freedom there. Yeah, lenses we've been over. Field of view, 159 degrees. That's pretty wide. Very wide. The audio, it says 32-bit float,
Nice.
which is that new for GoPro? I don't think it is. I think GoPro's been able to do that.
I have never thought about GoPro getting sound in. So for me, it's new.
And then ChatGPT is talking about battery life, but I don't know if they've talked about it at all officially. So I'm not gonna speculate. Like we said in the previous video, from the footage, it looks awesome.
It looks good.
And now that you can have interchangeable lenses, and you can get like a new hand grip that has like a shutter button on top. It looks kind of finicky because it like the button is an extension. It's like an arm that extends to the button on the other side, and it just bends.
Oh.
So when you press it, it bends the stick, so it presses the button over on the other side, which
Weird.
we'll see. I mean, maybe it'll work, but it's gonna feel odd, and it's gonna break.
Yeah.
They're for sure gonna wear out and gonna break. Anything that has to bend or flex or whatever, that's just breaking point.
So what do we think about it? What are our feelings, opinions?
Very excited.
Yeah.
Very excited. Yeah, I think this changes a lot for GoPro. We talked about in the last video GoPro getting involved in a camera that can sort of compete as an entry level like DSLR almost.
Yeah.
That seems to be what they're doing with the interchangeable lens system. And the button, the grip, and the microphones as well. You're essentially buying like a full like entry level camera. The only thing it doesn't have is enough buttons to make it easy to use, because you're going to have to go through the screen for a lot of shit still, or your phone or the app or whatever, which makes it not interesting for me as a DLR or D mirrorless camera.
Acronyms are hard.
Yeah, dude, I'm struggling today.
As a mirrorless shooter.
As a mirrorless camera, yeah. I would still choose the Sony over GoPro, but
Yeah.
if the GoPro manages to keep its price down, for anybody who's looking to get into cinematography, just as a place to start, that's a pretty good option. The only problem is you have to invest in MFT lenses.
Which
They're not useful.
I don't know
for
how
anything.
I feel about that.
They're not useful for anything else.
No, but I'm also not I feel like this is still like now this became even more niche
Okay.
because now it's like, okay, in what scenario do you buy a GoPro to change lenses?
Podcast.
Yeah.
Fix it inside of cars. Talk to camera. Vlog stuff. I
But that
understand
over whatever's already on the market.
if it's cheaper. They haven't
If
talked.
it's cheaper, yeah.
They haven't talked about price, but if it's cheaper, remember the GoPro is tiny compared to everything else. It still looks very, very small. The lenses, micro four thirds lenses, are small.
Yeah.
So this is something you're going to be able to travel with. This is a very, very chill option.
I'm still sad they didn't do the 3-camera phone type
3 lenses.
or like DJI drone type.
Yeah. I still think that might have been a better idea. Like
Yep.
3 fixed, 50, ultra wide, and then something else. But
Something else, man.
that's something else. Could be 24, just like a iPhone. But what this means for GoPro is that it opens up a new consumer base, basically back to what they used to be. In the beginning, GoPro was all about getting a convenient way to capture footage into like consumer hands.
Mm-hmm.
This sort of brings that vibe back, where like now you can have a camera that sort of does it all, is the size of your pocket, and you can just travel with, and essentially is unbreakable, right? That's kind of GoPro's thing. So you just,
Except for the lens now.
except for the lens now, but that's if you buy the ILS Pro
Yes.
or the Pro One ILS.
How weather resistant is that?
Out of 10? I don't know.
Out of GoPro used to be great.
I think the Mission 1 Pro, I mean, there's no specs about this, right? The ChatGPT.
There's no like IP rating.
ChatGPT says 20 meters waterproof for the Mission 1 Pro and the Mission 1.
Yeah.
And then the Mission 1 Pro ILS, it just says water resistant, not waterproof. But, I mean, this is ChatGPT, so who knows? It also says micro SD for storage. But once again, ChatGPT is just sort of speculating based on
Yeah.
what other people have said. So who knows?
I can definitely see the ILS being used for like movie sets where they need to put the cameras in like scenarios where it's like, yeah, it might get destroyed, but at least we're getting the shot. I can definitely see that happen, and then having more flexibility on like that look.
Yeah. Movie sets and YouTube channels. I mean, how many YouTube channels are doing that shit now?
Yeah.
How many Mr. Beast videos are going to use?
Mr. Beast.
Mr. Beast. Mr. Yeast. That's a bad channel. I wouldn't. I would avoid that one.
But yeah, no, yeah, I can see. Yeah, I guess I get with the little hand grip, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I can see that then just giving that to like so many people on like huge shoot. Like, here's your POV, just film whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or if you're a YouTuber, like if you're just getting into YouTubing and starting vlogs or something, if there's like a very functional grip or something for this is going to be a fantastic camera. It's an easy way to get close to the action, to interview people up close, to not be like offensively in people's faces with like if you're doing some sort of journalism aspect to YouTube or video creation.
Yeah.
Like nobody's going to be offended if you pull out a GoPro. They're going to be happy to talk, but if you pull out a full rig like an FX6, it's going to throw them off.
It's a lot more like intimidating.
So I think this is like a really intimate, really creative way to look at an entry-level mirrorless camera. I'm excited to see how it does. I have a feeling we're going to have a couple around the office because of the mutts.
What price do you think like would be that you would want it to be?
Let's do this. So I have no idea what a GoPro costs right now.
Yeah.
I have no idea. I was just going to look it up, but I'm going to stop myself. If I'm looking at the Mission 1 Pro with the fixed 14 millimeter lens, I'm going to say in Norwegian kroner, it better not be more than 6,000, 7,000 kroner.
Yeah.
Which it translates to like $500, $600. That would be my guess.
I think they've usually been at around that price on release, around 500, 499, I think.
I got my finger on the market. I know these things.
Do you think the Pro ILS would cost more?
That's what I'm debating.
Just body only?
It on paper it should, but it also has less than, like, it doesn't have a lens.
Because in terms of specs, it's the same as a Pro. It's just that now there's just a mount.
Yes. So do you pay?
So there's
more?
less thing.
So do you pay more for the idea of more functionality later, or do you pay more for the functionality in your hand right now? Is the idea?
I feel like they should be the same price.
I think so
At
too.
least the same price.
I think so too.
Or the ILS should be like, I don't know if I would, like, for me, I would want to put it a bit cheaper.
Cheaper for the
Yeah.
ILS? I would say more expensive.
But I don't know how much, like, does adding a mount really, like, changes the internal of the body? And, like, did they have to, like, make so much, like, changes?
No, but it changes the usage potential, and it also gives you a more captive consumer base. Because anybody who buys one with the interchangeable lens system is going to need that. Like, they're not going to be able to get away with a 14 millimeter fixed lens. So they're not going to sit there holding the two and go, maybe I'll do this one. They're going to be like, I fucking need the ILS, so I'm going to pay the extra $100 and get it.
Would you put an extra $100 for ILS?
Yeah, but I'm kind of an idiot. If I was a consumer, no.
No.
If I was me, yes.
Do you think GoPro will have their own kind of like their own lens?
Yeah. Here's what I'm thinking. I think this is GoPro putting their feet into DJI territory.
Yep.
And going, let's try it. If you look at the Mission 1 compared to whatever sensor DJI puts on, like, their drones or their, like, Steadicam rigs with interchangeable lenses, it seems like the beginning of something that can compete with those. So my thinking is that GoPro is basically trying to one-up the exact usage case that DJI fulfills, and is in turn going that direction, and will eventually, like, attach these to a drone. Well,
should GoPro go back to trying to do a drone? Because they have tried.
They have tried, but it was a really bad idea. It was clunky. It didn't work. It was.
I like the idea that you had the drone, you had the stabilizer handle thing that you could put on the drone.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like a 3-in-1.
Yeah.
I think that was cool.
But nobody wanted it. It didn't work. It also didn't work.
That's the thing. I think if it worked, it was just ahead of its time.
They were just falling out of the sky and shit. Like, they had a lot of tech problems with those drones.
Yeah. But if it worked, though.
So to finish that thought, if GoPro is using this as a chance to test the waters and going the DJI route and competing directly with DJI and eventually surpassing them with their own style of, like, products.
Their own ecosystem?
Yeah. Then the Mission 1 is a fundraising opportunity.
Yeah.
One, it's a fundraising opportunity where they can build R&D, research and development funds to create the rest of the infrastructure.
Mm-hmm.
And two, it's just a successful product that they can have people latch onto and get back into the GoPro universe with.
Yeah.
But that's thinking from, like, a malicious businessman's mind and not a creative mind.
How do we scale?
Exactly. Yeah. And the way you scale is build the brain, which is the Mission 1, which comes in either fixed or interchangeable lenses, and then you build the ecosystem around that and create mandatory attachments, which I like it. I mean, DJI needs competition, so why not?
100%.
And I don't think Insta360 is the one to give them that competition. I admire what they're doing, but I think it's a different product.
Yeah, entirely. I think they're going for a different market as well.
Mm-hmm.
Since, I mean, DJI, that's the thing. DJI is everywhere. Because now they do sound, they do drones, they do action cams, they do 360 cams.
Mm-hmm.
Insta360, I think they're just sticking to 360 cams, and they're doing that great.
Yeah.
So good for them. Just stay in your lane.
Yeah.
And now GoPro is just trying to get back on the radar.
Yep. But if GoPro does go for, like, a drone system, it cannot compete with the Mavic and smaller drones. It has to be Inspire. It has to be a big one, where you can put this camera with the interchangeable lenses. That's where I see this going.
Yes, but I feel like already the Inspire has such a good camera.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they'll have to go huge.
It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah. They will have to go huge. But if they already have the glass of Micro Four Thirds, then
Yep.
maybe there's some convenience in that. People have the Panasonic Lumix or whatever it's called, the GHB. I don't think it's
Yeah.
called a GHB. What is it called? The
I want to say the GH1, but
the
I'm
Panasonic camera that aren't they on like 6 or something? Panasonic. It's a terrible name, Panasonic.
or you mean like the DSLR type camera?
Yeah.
The GH7?
7. Okay,
Fuck.
they've been cruising, but that's Micro Four Thirds, right?
Yes.
So they have that entire, and that's super highly respected already. Filmmakers love the GH series. So it seems like GoPro's let's just tag on to that and then use those small lenses and that small form factor to sort of create a smaller sensor that can fit in many places. So GoPro is now essentially like the action camera branch of Panasonic is what it feels like. And if it works, it works. That's awesome. But DJI is pretty good at what they do.
They're really good at what they're doing.
DJI cameras and the systems and like even like the Mavic that has built-in camera is like phenomenal. Nobody hates that.
Yeah.
And it also has 3 lenses already built into the camera, like we said.
Exactly.
Should have. So I'm curious to see where this goes. We will probably get 1 or 2 of them. I would like one of each, one of the Pro and one of the ILS.
Could use that as a webcam for streaming.
Yeah, true. It's cheaper than this thing. So yeah, I'm curious.
Let's just wait for a review. Maybe we do a review when we get it.
They had my attention. Now they have my curiosity or whatever the Django quote is.
I think it's you had my curiosity and now you have my attention.
Fuck. Anyway, thank you very much.
Thank you for
That's
tuning
the
in.
end of this one. If you want to see the original video where we talk about before this came out, I don't know.
Our predictions.
Maybe you want to go back in time. There's a whole bunch of other videos. Just click the links to go through. If not, I'll see you in the next one. It's going to be rad. See you there.
Peace.